Evening, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhu.
Good. Dandavat. So, I heard just a while ago from Srila Madhusudan Maharaj that he's been delayed in his travel. Last I spoke to him, he was in Stansted Airport, transiting there, and they told him that his flight was at least 2 hours delayed. So I think it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to join us this evening. So you've got me instead. I'm not sure how many devotees are joined with us, but a few I can see. And yes. I can see Shambhunath Prabhu on Lavanyamai's feed there. Because Lavanyamai is in our so-called Seva Ashram at the moment, so she's there. And I'm here. Okay, so we should begin with Vandanam, as Maharaj always does. I can lead that, and then we can go on from there. So let me begin. Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakkoram Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So welcome everyone. I see the devotees are joining with us now. I hope they won't be too disappointed that Maharaj isn't going to be with us this evening, as I mentioned before, because of his he's traveling and he's been delayed. His flights have been delayed, so I think it'll be just me this evening. So the title for this evening's meeting is if you only look for the good in the devotees, then your life will be exalted. So this is a very nice theme, and this is a theme that we all often heard from Srila Govinda Maharaj many times. And Srila Govinda Maharaj told us one of the first lessons that he learned from Sridhar Maharaj was try to serve the Vaishnavas without envy. Nirmatsaranam. This word, nirmatsaranam, means non-enviousness, without envy. And this we find in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vyasadeva, the author, is explaining that this scripture is meant for those souls who are not envious. For the non-envious section, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for them. Excuse me. So I've chosen a passage from the Revealed Truth compilation of talks of Srila Govinda Maharaj in English, and there's a very nice part there, and the title is "This Purifying Force of Devotion." So, with your permission, I'll read that. It's not so long. Excuse me. Srila Guru Maharaj once questioned Srila Saraswati Thakur about what should be done when a gentle devotee does something wrong. Srila Guru Maharaj was highly educated and an authority in material law. As you may know, Srila Sridhar Maharaj was his qualification was in law. He was studying law before coming to the mission. He was thinking that a devotee should be punished according to material rules when he breaks the rules or regulations. But Srila Saraswati Thakur did not agree. Srila Saraswati Thakur said, "Your forehead, that is your future. It's born from your conception." So, in other words, where you place your forehead, that's where your future lies, and where you place your forehead is born from your internal conception. Mani Maya Mandira Madhye Pasyati Pipilika Chidram. If you focus on the faults of a devotee, then your conception will be like that of an ant. An ant enters a temple decorated with golden jewels and looks only for the holes in the walls. Only when you look for the good qualities in the devotees will your future be exalted. Only then will you proceed properly towards service. Srila Saraswati Thakur answered Srila Guru Maharaj in this way, but did not fully answer his question. Then one day, about 6 months later in Madras, as Srila Saraswati Thakur was reading Srimad Bhagavatam in his room, a verse came before him, and he called for Srila Guru Maharaj. "Here is the answer to your question," he said. Srila Guru Maharaj had asked Srila Saraswati Thakur his question about the misbehavior of devotees 6 months before. When Srila Saraswati Thakur said, "Here is your question's answer," Srila Guru Maharaj was surprised and thought, "What is my question?" When Srila Saraswati Thakur handed him the book and Srila Guru Maharaj saw the verse, he immediately remembered and understood which question Srila Saraswati Thakur was answering. That verse was Shrapada Mulam Bhajata Priyasya Chaktanya Bhavishya Hari Pareshaha Vikram Jach Chotpatim Katanchid Dhunoti Sarvam Riddhi Sanivishtaha. This is from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The meaning is that it is not necessary to apply material law to dedicated devotees of the Lord. It is possible that dedicated devotees may do something wrong. Their mundane body and mental position are not always in the liberated state. It is possible that they may sometimes be polluted by the illusory environment. But because they are dedicated, because they are serving the Lord and chanting his holy name, the Lord is living within their heart, and the Lord will clean their heart. The Lord will remove their offenses by his divine influence. If they are dedicated to Krishna, then he will take care of everything. It is not necessary for a dedicated devotee to do any prayaschita or atonement. We can also understand that a dedicated devotee will always feel anuta, it means regret, when they understand that they have done something wrong. They will think, "Why have I done this? It is very bad." They will scrutinize themselves very seriously in this way, and the fire of their repentance will purify their hearts of pollution. This verse, Shrapada Mulam, is necessary for everyone to discuss and understand. There are very powerful feelings within it, and when everyone will understand it, they will be purified very quickly. Service to the Lord is transcendental, no doubt, but we cannot say when liberation will come in the life of a dedicated soul. It is also necessary for everyone to follow the material and social laws and maintain themselves in the material world without making any disturbance in society. People are always hating others when they see them improperly following the laws of society, but no solution to that comes through hate. The only solution is dedication and service to the Lord. The Lord and the power of devotion purify the hearts of everyone and remove any and all traces of mundane desire and ego. Nothing external can do that. Srila Guru Maharaj taught us that whenever we see a bad quality in someone, it is a test given to us by Krishna to purify us. Srila Guru Maharaj gave us that vision, and we feel that if everyone will see with that type of vision, then Krishna will be happy and everyone will be spiritually benefited. This is so important because we live in an ocean of faults, and we can find someone with faults everywhere. Many of the spiritual practitioners around us are not perfect. We will become hopeless if we do not try to see the good qualities in others and in our environment. A Western scholar, Catherine Mayo, once came to India to learn about Indian philosophy, but after arriving, she publicly criticized Indian culture. When this happened, Mahatma Gandhi said, "She has not come to appreciate the wealth of India. She has come to inspect India's drains. She is a drain inspector." We heard this story from Srila Guru Maharaj. We should not be drain inspectors. By Krishna's mercy, we should try to see beauty and charm everywhere. Srila Guru Maharaj said, "To err is human, and to forgive is divine." Everyone has imperfections and will sometimes do something wrong. Why should we lose our own devotional mood because of that? Through his devotional mood, Srila Guru Maharaj could see goodness everywhere. He would give great respect to all devotees and also give great respect even to persons who were against Vaishnavism. Dedicated devotees may do something wrong, but we should not act like ants that see only the holes of a golden temple. Mani Maya Mandira Madhye Pashyati Pipilka Chidram. We should not be a drain inspector looking for devotees' faults. We have much more capacity than ants. We should see that all dedicated devotees have golden property within their hearts, and we should consciously try to recognize their good qualities. Persons who have mundane qualifications and persons who have no mundane qualification appear the same to Krishna. Krishna only wants our eagerness and hankering, our mood of devotion. If we have that, then Krishna will be merciful to us. Krishna is like an exalted sun. His rays can drive away all inauspiciousness from anyone. Someone's mundane qualifications are not notable for Krishna, and someone's mundane disqualifications are also not a problem for Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachchati tadaham bhakti uparitam asnani prayatmanaha. If anyone offers me with love and devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I will affectionately accept that offering. Murko badati vishnaya dhiro badati vishnave. Aubayastu samam punyam bhava grahi janardana. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Someone who does not know proper Sanskrit grammar may offer food to the Lord saying, Vishnaya Namaha. This is a common grammatical mistake. Someone who is expert in grammar will offer to the food to the Lord saying, Vishnave Namaha. This is correct grammar. But if both persons have devotion, then the Lord will accept both of their offerings. The Lord does not consider grammar or external qualifications. He considers the heart. He sees only someone's mood of devotion. It is necessary to offer everything to the Lord with devotion. Bhakta prayachchati. Without devotion, nothing is actually satisfying the Lord, because the Lord is Bhava Grahi Janardana, the enjoyer of the devotee's heart and devotional mood. Oh, there we are. That's very beautiful. Short passage from Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj explaining this point. And this point very often coming up in his talks, that we should try to see the good in the devotees. And Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj also giving similar advice to us, of course. And it is very necessary for us. In the time of Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj, every year when the devotees would come to meet at the time of Gaura Purnima, then there was organized this meeting of the Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha. That means the king of the kings of the Vaishnavas. They would assemble together. So this was Guru Maharaj was making this, and Srila Gurudev also. And excuse me, part of that was if there was any devotee who had some bad feeling towards any other devotee for whatever reason, rightly or wrongly or whatever it may be, they were requested to say something in praise of that devotee, and not something superficial. He's a great guy. Yeah, I'm sure he's a really good devotee. No, they would have to, in Srila Guru Maharaj's words, dive deep into the bright side of that person and try to draw out the good qualities of that person, because everyone has some goodness within them for sure, and especially those who are practicing devotion, they must have some goodness within them, even if we've only seen the opposite of that. If we look very deeply, then we'll see that, we'll find that in them. And by seeing that goodness in them, that goodness will come to us. And similarly, if we see the faults of others, we heard from Srila Guru Maharaj, if you look to the faults of other devotees, you can be sure that those same faults must come to you. So, we should never foster an arrogant demeanor towards the devotees, seeing their faults, what they're doing wrong. It's very easy to do that, because as Srila Guru Maharaj said, Srila Govinda Maharaj said, we're living in an ocean of faults. Once when I went to Navadvip to see Srila Gurudev, and I'd gone with some devotees who were making some complaint about another devotee in London, and they'd asked me to speak to Srila Govinda Maharaj about this. So that was one of the reasons I was going. And I said, I put my case, or the case of the devotees, about this particular person to Gurudev. And Gurudev looked at me and he said, Prabhu, show me one person who is perfect in this world. Show me one person who has no faults in this world. And all I could reply was, I'm looking at him, Maharaj. You're the only person I know. And he laughed, of course, but he said, no, this world is a world, the faulty plane. We live in a faulty plane. So everyone must have some fault, one way or another. So, but as Gurudev would say, my religion is finding fault with myself. And that's enough for me for my entire life and more, to try and find those faults in myself, to look at those faults within myself. we're able to do that because we know better than anyone, more or less, what those faults are. So we should try to look at our own faults and work on those, and at the same time, not to look at the faults of others. Try to ignore those faults and try to foster, and fan the good qualities in the devotees. Then that will also be helpful to us in our spiritual life. We will be able to proceed in a clean way. Otherwise, when we're always bogged down looking at what this one did wrong and what that one did wrong and all of these things, then actually it can be a very depressing thing. We heard also from Srila Maharaj that in the time of Saraswati Thakur, he had one friend who was the editor of the Bengali newspaper, Amrita Bazar Patrika, famous newspaper in Bengal. I think it's still produced today. But anyway, the editor was a friend of Saraswati Thakur, and Saraswati Thakur invited him to spend a few days in the mott in Bagbazar, Calcutta. And after a few days, he asked him, "So what's your opinion? You've been here, you've seen everything. What's your opinion?" And he said that his friend said, "Oh, if I can speak candidly, I have to say that all these fellows that you have here, they're all hypocrites. They all say one thing and do the opposite. And it would be better if you just send them back to their homes." And Saraswati Thakur's response was, then should we go and expel all of the people from the hospital because they're sick? Should we do that? Go to the hospital and say, "Oh, you're sick, and maybe your sickness is contagious. You should go home and there be treated there." No, of course not. The best place for them is in the hospital. So similarly, the best place for the devotees, with all their faults, with all their foibles, with everything, is to be in the association of the sadhus, serving in the mott, especially they're serving there directly under Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then what better place for them to be? The best place, the best medicine, the best doctor available. That's the position. So we don't go to the temple thinking that everybody there must be perfect. Of course, it's very nice to think like that, but a little naive, because we're all there as patients. We're not there because we're perfect. If we were perfect, then maybe we'd be living in Goloka Vrindavan with Krishna. But we're not. We're living here in the faulty plane because we're full of faults. But we may be ill, if you like, spiritually ill. And we're doing our best to get better under the direction of our gurus, who are the expert doctors. And they're giving some prescription, some medicine, some diet, all these things. And if we follow that, then sooner or later we'll become clean again, we'll become healthy again, and be able to even help others. We'll be able to proceed in our spiritual life happily. But that won't happen if we spend all of our time looking for the faults of our brothers and sisters who are also trying to progress in spiritual life. In a similar way, why would we know that we're full of faults. If we're all honest, we look at that. In fact, one Roman philosopher, whose name I forget now, but he said, the greatest fault is to think that you have none. That's the greatest fault of all. So we all know that we have so many faults. And what can we do? In English, we say, "Here I am, warts and all." Warts, they're like those growths on your hand or on your feet, or that sometimes they're very ugly, and they're kind of a virus that causes them, actually. You pick them up in the swimming pool or other places. So it means that here I am, warts and all, with all my faults, with all the ugliness of my nature. Here I am. I've come to you. I've come to you to try and surrender, to try to be better, and to try to progress in my spiritual life. Here I am with all of that. So if we recognize that we have many faults of our own, and we're asking for the mercy of Krishna, why should we expect Krishna to give any mercy to us if at the same time we're saying, but not him or not her, because they're this, they're that, they have this fault, they have that? Then why we should expect any mercy if we cannot ourselves be merciful, or at least see their also innate right towards mercy as well. So, we are always applying to the door of mercy. And Srila Guru Maharaj would say, that door, to reach that door, you have to go on your hands and knees. You cannot walk proudly up to that door and knock on the door. That door, maybe you can go the door of qualification. And when that door opens and your qualifications are examined, again, it'll be slammed in your face because you do not have any qualification to go there, as Gurudev saying in the beginning here. Anyone's material qualifications, they don't mean anything to Krishna, don't mean anything at all. And similarly, anyone's disqualification doesn't mean anything at all. But if we go on our hands and knees to that door of mercy, to the department of mercy, then we may have some hope there. May be able to plea. Everyone coming here, they're all very fallen, but maybe I'm more fallen than most. We won't say the most fallen. When somebody said that to Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, "Oh, I'm the most fallen, Gurudev," they said. And Prabhupada's reply was, "You're not the most anything." So this is also, we should remember, there's always going to be somebody in a worse position than ourselves, and there's always going to be somebody in a better position than ourselves. We are what we are. And if we can present ourselves in that way and plead for mercy, then we should also see that others also have some claim to mercy as much as ourselves. So this is a very important way for us to approach the Lord, with humility. That it's given in the scripture, it says, with the straw between your teeth. And what does that mean? Dante Trinakori, it says in many songs. I'm coming with a straw between my teeth. It means that the straw off the floor, I'm putting that in my teeth to show I'm as low as that. I'm no better than the straw in the street. Here I am. And it's a symbolic way of acknowledging our fallen condition. And we are fallen. Every one of us. We may not. Srila Saraswati Thakur says, as soon as you feel some problem in your body, some illness or something not working properly, what do? You immediately go to the doctor and try and get some remedy for that. But because we cannot perceive our own soul, we don't think there's anything wrong. But believe me, there is something wrong. Our soul is always, of course, pure, but it can be covered by the rubbish, the junk, the garbage of this material world. That can cover us. That can cover our soul, and we perceive things in a wrong way, a misconceived way, when we look through the lens of our disease nature, if you like. The disease is only on top, but the disease is there nevertheless, and the disease is keeping us away from our ultimate benefit in life, the worship of Radha Govinda and Vrindavan Dham. How can we go there and with such a mean and nasty conception of our own self even? So we have to try to correct ourselves. As Saraswati Thakur often would say, and this was quoted by Guru Maharaj, first deserve, then desire. So first try and make yourself a proper receiver for mercy, for that. Not that, yes, I'm very fallen, please give mercy to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue with all my fallen antics, because that's who I am. I am fallen, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you, how fallen I am. No, we have to come with that. I am very fallen, but I also want to be repentant of that. I don't want to again enter into that fallen condition more than I am already. I don't want to do that. I don't want to cultivate that. I want to cultivate goodness, and I want to cultivate devotion. And please, you be merciful to me, so that that may be a possibility. You have some purpose for me. That much we can say, that every soul, however insignificant we may be, the Lord has some purpose for us. And this is the truth. Otherwise, why he would create us? He created us to give satisfaction to him. So we are meant for that. We are meant for his service and his satisfaction. In what way we are able to satisfy him, he knows. He knows the reason for everything, but only he knows. But by surrendering to him, we may also come in, synchronicity with that plan that he has. So we find that we're in a harmonious state with him. And when that happens, then our actual purpose becomes revealed to us. And however, insignificant it may be, every little cog in a mechanism is necessary to be there. It has its purpose. And so similarly, we have our purpose. But at the moment, we're fighting with this material world and keeping within us this huge mountain range of ego. And that ego is what prevents us from seeing things as they really are. We can only see through that misconceived ego, and that misconceived ego is leading us in all kinds of wrong ways. But if we can change our ego, if we can change our ego to be Krishna Das, Krishna Das, 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 Anudas. That means servant of the servant of the servant. When Mahaprabhu says that, it's not just hyperbole or, a poetic expression. It's the reality. We wish to be the servant of the servant of the servant's servant. Like, however much removed from direct service to Krishna that may be, at least let me be somewhere in there, somewhere in that divine, purposeful world, spiritual world. Let me enter into there as I'm meant to be, whatever that means. And if that means Das, 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 Anudas, and it does mean that, servant of the servant of a servant, servant of Krishna, that's a wonderful thing, really a wonderful thing. So, okay, so anyway, that's my contribution for this evening. As you know, as I mentioned at the beginning, maybe some have joined us since then, but Srila Madhusudan Maharaj can't be with us tonight because he's traveling back to Italy, and last we spoke, his flight had been delayed quite substantially, so he said it was unlikely that he'd be able to join us here this evening. So sorry for that, and I know you all came for him, and he sends his apologies, and also I also apologize that it's me and not him speaking this evening, but I always speak a little something, so I hope that's okay with everyone. If anyone has something they would like to contribute, and or some question about this or anything else, we can try to answer that. Or if anyone likes to speak something, I'm not sure who's all here. Let me take a quick look. Oh, Kunkundid is here, and who else is here? Many devotees. They all have their pictures turned off though, so they all look like Pluto pieces to me. But maybe Kunkundidi would like to say something. Not seen her for a few weeks, and I'm really hoping that you're feeling better now, Kunkundidi. I was unable to come and see you when we were when I was in America just recently, but yeah, I'd like to hear from you. Yeah. So if you're happy to say something, Kunkundidi, that would be very nice to hear from you.
My Dandavat Prabhu, and to all of the devotees here, I feel extremely privileged to be in the Sangha at all, and there's a great testament to when you've been through any short period, but to speak of for me, it seems like it's been a few months that you don't get to participate in real time with the Sangha. The quality of these Sanghas is completely incredible, but it also shows that because they're recorded and you can hear later, that you can feel that you're not being neglected at all by the Vaishnavas and by our gurus. And so this particular topic, of course, we're all missing Srila Madhusudan Maharaj very much, but when that can't be helped, I appreciate this particular topic that Devashis Prabhu brought out, because it's one that you can find Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada speaking on unlimitedly. It's extremely important. And so I did find a few notes where they have spoken about this, and they remind me a lot, this idea that to see the good qualities in others rather than in seeing the bad qualities, which, as Prabhu has been explaining, have to be present. But it reminds me of, I believe it's King Yudhisthira explaining in Mahabharata that if you see the good qualities in others, then those qualities will come to you. And vice versa. If you see, or especially dwell on the bad qualities of others, then you're ordering those up for your own self. And so one little trick that I've used against my mind over the years is if you see a good quality in somebody, even that, well, if you first think that someone has wronged you or you see some bad quality in them, then you can remember this and think about their good qualities. Means that you can say, yes, I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those. I'd like to have that in me. And so that can convince you to think about and dwell on their good qualities. And the other is something out of our capacity to reconcile or adjust, definitely not within our capacity to control. And the sweet trick for this method is not only that we're going to, this is true, we're going to get these good qualities in ourselves, but we're now meditating on their good qualities. And so we're moving ourselves along toward, we don't have to be thinking about their bad qualities, which is what will make us more and more miserable. So this is explained extremely well. Here's one place where Srila Gurudev explains it, and it's captured in Revealed Truth in the chapter called Recognizing Devotion. And he says, the conditioned souls always think that they are already qualified. That is their misfortune. When someone sees himself as the biggest, he cannot see anything beyond himself. He can only see tiny things like ants and insects. When someone sees himself clearly and feels himself to be small, then he can see the highest and biggest things around him. It is hopeful for us to see ourselves not as the best or greatest, but as the least and smallest, to see that we have a great need for improvement. Whatever good qualities we may have are already our property, which no one can take away from us. If we see good qualities anywhere in others, we should try to collect them. We can always collect goodness from wherever we find it, through our practice of humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. So this is certainly, as Devashis Prabhu has been bringing out, this is the way our gurus think, and this is their advice to us to think like this also. And it's all for the purpose of making us more and more happy. And so this is my small contribution. I can simply be glad that we get to hear these very valuable lessons. This is not ordinary advice. This is only going to come from the spiritual world, from the divine world. So we'll be connected with that world and not the mud, which is this actual world. And mud is not only so unpleasant to be in, but it's also it captivates us. It captures us and doesn't want to easily let us go. So we must take this idea. If we see that we are ill, we have some improvement that we need to make, we can think like when we have a physical sickness, if we recognize who is a good doctor, if we recognize the good doctor means they're giving us the advice of what to do, what to think, what to eat, and what not to eat, which in the spiritual sense, of course, means for the mind as well, and the intelligence, what to think and endeavor for, and what to not think and what to not endeavor for, then we will get well. We may even decide that we want to become a doctor ourselves, or at least we can recommend these particular doctors and this particular regimen to others, so that this is the highest hope for everything. Humanity needs us so much right now. Never will there be a time when we think this world is just great, everything's good. The political leaders that I want are going to be in power. Never will we be able to bank on something like that. So really, if we're a little bit intelligent, this is our best choice. So you please excuse me, I am feeling better, but not extremely well.
Jai, thank you, Kunkundini. So good to hear from you.
I so much missed you in being able to come to Oregon when you were there, but I saw that it was all under Krishna's arrangement. He made that so clear. When we need to be clarified about something, he could make things just completely clear so that we don't wonder. And when I saw that you still gave your kindness to so many others, that seemed to be like his point. Why only I should get such mercy.
Jai. You see in the message, the chat message, there's a question from devotee there, Govinda Chandra Prabhu, and his question is, so he's saying that our future is connected with the inner circle of Sri Rupa Manjari. So the question is, does this mean that whoever duplicates the mood of Rupa Goswami will attain the level of Manjari, the very existence of the Rupanuga Sampradaya? Oh, sorry. Reading it on the side here. The very existence of the Rupanuga Sampradaya created to send new manjaris to the spiritual world, or can there be other swarups like Ram, Prema, etc.? Well, so let me just close that. So that's a very deep question, of course, and I would say certainly it's above my pay grade. I'm not really qualified to answer such a question. But what I can say, first of all, Srila Guru Maharaj said, we're never going to be first rank servitors of Krishna, because those positions are already taken, or second rank, or even third rank. He said maybe third rank, most likely fourth rank. That means going back, because Krishna's Leela is going on everywhere, you know. So it's and all of those the manjaris and so on, they're already there doing it. They don't have any vacancies. They don't have any lack of candidates for those positions. So there's certainly not really any possibility of the devotees here being recruited to that stage. It doesn't mean that can never happen. Of course, anything is possible within the realm of Krishna's Leela, but it's not usual. Guru Maharaj said that not first rank or second rank or even third rank, but most likely fourth rank. And but at the same time, Srila Govinda Maharaj said to me personally, when he was in London one day, anyone that will stay in the line of Srila Guru Maharaj must get the service of Rupa Manjari. So, and then he looked at me and said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "Maharaj, I don't even understand what that means, actually. But if you say that, then I believe it must be true." So, you know, but two things on reflection of that. Then Gurudev was just going down to give a talk in the temple room. So that was the sort of the end of that conversation. But I did think about it deeply. And the first thing was, yes, Guru Maharaj, who stays in the line of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, naturally they must get that service of Rupa Manjari, because Guru Maharaj is intimately connected with the service of Rupa Manjari. And he is situated in that service world. But so then I thought, yes, that's beautiful, wonderful, the highest thing, no doubt. But what does it mean to be in the line of Srila Sridhar Maharaj? This is Gurudev's expression. Who stays in the line of Srila Guru Maharaj must get the service of Rupa Manjari. Then that was my second thought is, okay, so what does it mean to be in the service of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, in the line of Srila Sridhar Maharaj? So, you know, that's a very broad question, but also who can claim that? I can't. I certainly can't. Not me. I can't claim that, because if we analyze that, once one of our devotees asked Guru Maharaj this question, just a simple question: how can we please you? And that devotee, he was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And of course, anyone knows, if you ask Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, how can we please you? His reply almost invariably would be, distribute my books, isn't it? Everybody knows that. So maybe he was thinking that Guru Maharaj would say something like that. But first of all, when he asked him, Guru Maharaj said, first of all, he was a little puzzled. Please me? Like, why would you? Then like, oh, okay. If I'm your guru, then, you know, yes, of course. Then he said, what I am to do, what I am living for, that is, I've given my life, every drop of my blood, every breath in my body, for the service of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you can also do that, that will please me. So I think in the ultimate analysis, that is what it means to be in the line of Srila Guru Maharaj. Every drop of your blood, every breath in your body, for the service of Mahaprabhu's conception coming through Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That will give you, you know, entrance into Guru Maharaj's plane of service. So, you know, that's a big ask for anybody. And Guru Maharaj knows that, you know. Somebody asked Guru Maharaj, why do we see so many stalwart devotees falling away? And Guru Maharaj said, we shouldn't be surprised at that. To be able to give everything for the service of Mahaprabhu is not a common thing. It's not an easy thing. It's not just a matter of, you know, signing up on the dotted line, getting your beads and getting your spiritual name and that's all over. No, that's just giving us a chance, the opportunity to be part of that. An acceptance, you can say. Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, whoever you're receiving your those things, your beads, your name, all of those things. It's an acceptance, like yes, you've been accepted to study in this school, the school of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. You're accepted as a student. Now, what will you do? It's up to you, isn't it? Whether you will give yourself for that, for what's required to get it to, pass the grade, if you like, in that school. It is not just a matter of just showing up. Now you have to do some work. You have to do something. And what is that work? What Srila Sridhar Maharaj would say is, it means sacrificing yourself. Guru Maharaj would say, sacrifice is joy. That's his conception. Sacrifice is joy. To sacrifice yourself, to give yourself for the cause. That's a big thing, And Srila Govinda Maharaj, he said once, the devotees, they can accept everything about Krishna consciousness. It's all good, it's all wonderful, it's beautiful. But at the same time, every devotee is thinking, but how much I can give myself to that, I know. And I reserve that for me. No one else knows that. I know that. How much I can give of myself today, how much I can give of myself tomorrow. I know that. But Gurudev said, but also that we will have to leave. That idea we will have to leave eventually. No, only you know what is my purpose, what is my capacity, all of those things. You have to throw yourself into that and let Gurudev take control of you for that. You become, as when Srila Prabhupada is going to the New York on the boat, and he wrote in his diary, make me dance. I'm like your puppet. Make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you will. That kind of surrender is actually required, like to really be in the line of Srila Guru Maharaj. However, having said that, Srila Govinda Maharaj was so merciful, so kind, that just that you showed up sometimes would be enough for him. That just that you were there and came to be counted in front of him, that was enough. And he would say, I don't want anyone to leave this mission of Srila Guru Maharaj. Once they've come and taken shelter of Guru Maharaj, I don't want anybody to leave that. So I'm trying to keep everybody here under Guru Maharaj's shelter. So really, it's all about mercy, isn't it? Ultimately, how much we can do or not do, or that's one thing. But if the Lord is merciful to us, and if we have some hankering for that mercy, if we have some inner necessity for that, then maybe we can go all the way. I hope so. But maybe that may be something that we have to cultivate over many lifetimes. That's okay also. What else are we going to do in this material world? Nothing better than that, is there? So, but of course, everything's possible. It doesn't mean that everyone is necessarily going to be even a Krishna Bhakta. Some people may be Ram Bhakta by their inner nature and so on. But again, that's far and above where we are now. If we're thinking about that, then we're actually going in the wrong direction. That's all like far and away for every one of us. And who we are, what our position is, all of those things, that will manifest within us in its proper time, in the proper way. But we all know that coming under the shelter of Srila Guru Maharaj, that means that we understand the highest goal is the service of Rupa Manjari in Vrindavan Dham, the service of the divine couple under the direction of Lalita Devi, which is incidentally, her appearance day tomorrow. There's something to consider. I hope that answers Prabhu's question. Not sure if it does, but we're nearly running out of time. If anyone else has something they want to ask or say, now's the time to do it.
Devashis Prabhu, it's Priyanana Didi here.
Dhanyavad Priyanana.
I just want to say big appreciation words, because what we are talking about today, it's what we were talking about recently with Srila Madhusudan Maharaj at Back to Basic. And it's one of those moments, when the puzzle clicks and you understand, oh, another thread is existing in the universe. So I'm bowing down to you, and thank you for being a proper receiver and giver.
All right, thank you. Yes, what can I say? I only know what I heard from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. Like a parrot, I'm saying what they said. I don't have any possession of that kind of wealth or anything myself. I'm just repeating what they're saying and hope that somehow or another that has some power for us to understand through that. That's what I want to do with my life. So thank you. If I'm able to give some encouragement, inspiration to anyone, then I'm very grateful. And that's all Guru Maharaj's mercy, Gurudev's mercy. So I think we can finish here this evening. We're missing Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, but hopefully next week we'll be able to have time with him. And in the meantime, I want to offer my obeisances to you all and to remember our Gurudevs. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupanu Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All the world devotees Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gauru Premanandi. Hari Harivo. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo. Namo Namaha.
Sripad Devashis Prabhu Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Let us all meet again soon. Jai Gurudev.
Krishna Katha,